the dark web as a tool for digital empowerment. Beyond the headlines, there's another side to the dark web, one that supports digital empowerment, protects vulnerable communities, and gives people control over their own data. The dark web isn't just an escape route for criminals. It's also a refuge for those who need privacy, security, and autonomy online. In many cases, links on the dark web are used to build safer spaces, ones where individuals can connect, communicate, and create without fear of surveillance or censorship. Let's take a closer look at how the dark web is being used in ways that support freedom, innovation, and community. 1. Privacy by design, not an afterthought. Mainstream internet services often collect vast amounts of user data, tracking browsing habits, location, and even personal preferences. That data is then used for targeted ads, sold to third parties, or sometimes even exposed in data breaches. On the dark web, many platforms are built with privacy as a core principle. By design, they don't track users, store IP addresses, or require personal information. For people who want to use the internet without being monitored, these platforms offer a refreshing alternative. For example, private search engines and anonymous email services hosted on the dark web let users communicate and explore without leaving a digital trail. This level of control over one's own data is rare on the surface web, but common in the corners of the dark web. 2. Supporting independent creators and open knowledge. While the dark web might not be the first place you think of for creative work, it hosts a surprising number of independent blogs, zines, art galleries, and literary projects. These creators choose to publish on the dark web because it allows them to maintain full control over their content, without interference from algorithms or corporate oversight. Some writers and artists use dark web links to share work that might be controversial or censored elsewhere. Others host open-source tools, coding tutorials, and tech guides aimed at helping users better understand cybersecurity and privacy. In this way, the dark web becomes a space for knowledge sharing and creative expression outside the commercial pressures of the mainstream internet. 3. Building trust through decentralization. Many dark web platforms are decentralized or community-run, meaning no single company or government controls them. This structure makes it harder for any one entity to censor content or manipulate access. For example, some encrypted messaging services and forums operate entirely through peer-to-peer networks on the dark web. Users aren't dependent on a central server or corporate infrastructure, they help keep the network running. This kind of self-governed digital space is empowering. It shows that it's possible to build online communities that prioritize trust, cooperation, and shared responsibility rather than profit or control. 4. Giving marginalized groups a voice. People who face discrimination, persecution, or social stigma often find support and solidarity on the dark web. LGBTQ+ individuals living in hostile environments, survivors of abuse, and members of religious or ethnic minorities have all found safe spaces through dark web links. These communities provide emotional support, legal advice, and connection without fear of exposure. While they may lack the polish of mainstream platforms, they offer something far more valuable: a sense of belonging and safety. 5. Encouraging responsible exploration and digital literacy. Using the dark web requires a basic understanding of online security practices, like encryption, anonymity tools, and cautious browsing habits. For many people, exploring the dark web becomes a crash course in digital literacy. That knowledge doesn't stay confined to the dark web. Once users understand how Tor works, how to spot phishing attempts, or why end-to-end encryption matters, they carry those skills into the rest of their online lives. In this way, the dark web indirectly helps improve general internet safety. Final thoughts. The dark web gets a bad reputation, and yes, there are parts of it that deserve scrutiny. But it's important not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. When used responsibly, the dark web offers real benefits, especially for people who value privacy, freedom, and control over their digital lives. From secure communication to creative independence to community building, the dark web is more than a hidden corner of the internet. It's a reminder that the internet can, and should, be a space where everyone has the right to exist safely, freely, and on their own terms. So while we should always approach the dark web with caution, we shouldn't overlook its potential to empower. Because sometimes, going off the beaten path leads us to places worth protecting. Visit the link in the description below for more information.